What's happening, everyone? Nicky Hawkins here, West Ham Fan TV, back once again with another video. Now, we've a big week ahead of us. It's sort of coming into the last couple of weeks of the season, and I thought we'd do a midweek musings. I'm not mucking around. Let's get straight into it. Number one, should Manchester United be punished for fielding a weakened team against Leicester? Now, you would have seen over the weekend that Leicester, who needed to win a few games to secure their Champions League spot after we lost our game to, who did we lose to? Everton. They went out. They've got some important games coming up, and they fielded a weakened team. Now, over the years, there's been some teams that have been fined for doing so, but were Manchester United well within their rights to do so? Yes, they were. That's what squads are for. Manchester United, they don't have to look after anyone else's interests, in my opinion. They look after their own interests. If you can't get the job done yourself, you know, you can't always rely on others to do it for you. We've seen some funny old results. Arsenal beating Chelsea, of course, yesterday night. But lo and behold, it's down to you to get the results. You know, it shouldn't be down to the other teams. They've got some, I mean, with that protest that they done, and they got the Liverpool game called off. They've tried to squeeze these games all in together. They've got like 3 games in like just a few hours. So yeah, they're well within their rights. Well within their rights to field a weakened team. Yeah, there's no more to say about it than that, really. Anyone else that says different is, you know, he's clutching at straws a little bit. But let's get some of your comments. Unfortunately not. It's down to the Premier League for the unfair fixture timing, and I've heard many fans say that they feel it's unfair for other teams trying to get Champions League. That's JP Hammers. Finn Gilmore says no, they've put themselves in a position where they can rest players. Liverpool fans are complaining mainly, but they went and lost 6 in a row at home. As for West Ham, it's a shame, but we can't rely on other teams to do us favours. 97 Emily League says not really, since it's their choice who they want to play, but I still feel like some sort of fine or something could happen, should happen, because the game against Liverpool being called off, doubt it happened because they won a so-called Big Six. Zach says no, they shouldn't. I don't like United. They've already punished themselves with losing that game and handing the title to their rivals. You love to see it. ENL80S says no, because any team that needs to play 3 games in 7 days needs to rotate their players. We would do the same if it was us, and we did not use it, and we did not do it that year. We got to the FA Cup final. Russ Burden says, DJ Russie B, not at all. You can't blame Ollie. 2 games in 72 hours with arguably Liverpool is the bigger game for them, rivals, etc. They just need to beat them for us so we can keep 5th. WHU Mike says no, as much as it's against our favour, they didn't really do much wrong. 3 matches in a week with important fixtures in the future. If anything, the rescheduling should have been altered, in my opinion. A couple more. Fatboy Fever says no, it's up to them. If we won our games recently, we wouldn't have cared less about it. Geo Red Hammer 8 says no, they did what's best for them, and that's the correct thing to do. Plus, it's a consequence of the match being postponed, which a lot of football fans applauded the protest. So unsure if can applaud that and be too disgruntled with Manchester United. Stevie Hill said can't blame them. Fixture congestion, ramming 2 games in 2 days. And KJ says so. No, it's their choice. And just last one, Philip Wilkinson says yep, relegation for 3 lots of rule breaking. There we go. Thank you very much for them. Let's get into the question number 2. Rumours circulating that we have yet again no money to spend, potentially jeopardising our move for Lingard. What do you make of this? There's rumours coming out that we've got no money. I'm going to do a separate video on this, I think, so I won't bore you too much with my opinion. When it comes to like the next couple of weeks, we're going to do, you know, transfer target videos and all that sort of thing, so I won't bore you too much with my opinion, but I will just say this, and I tweeted this out the other day. If you haven't got the money to push this football club forward, for some reason our debt has skyrocketed again. I know there's a lot of clubs that are going to be suffering because of COVID, but they must have got more TV money because every game has been on the telly. The fans are coming back now. This is not going to end well for Golden Sullivan. The protest, like people are thinking that we're going to stop protesting because they, we've done well this year. It's more against, we've done well in spite of them rather than due to them, if that makes sense. And it won't end well in the protest front if all of a sudden they're pleading poverty at the end of the season. And we've had a good season. We need to build on it. And if they've got any sense, they will build on it. I'll just leave it at that. Uproar would be unreal, says JP Hammers, if this is true. Because of our owners, you can't be certain rumours are true. So just hope they aren't. I feel it's only fair that we get Lingard, a striker, any other backup players as well, especially if we get to Europe. I mean, that's what I'm trying to get at. If you ain't got money to service the squad that you've got, when you have, like, if you had a car and it didn't have any wheel, it was missing a wheel, but you could drive it anyway, but it affected, like, your performance in the car, eventually you need to get another wheel just to service it. Otherwise you'll end up losing the other wheel and it'll be a motorbike. I don't know if that makes any sense. But do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You can't just keep on going with what you got, because eventually that won't work. I don't believe a word of it. It's tactic to lower prices of the players we're interested in. There will be sales of certain players and contracts expiring to free up wages. Deal will be done. That was from Adam Architect UK. Chris Brett says, Chairman goes on national radio, state we have 40 million budget. Won't buy Tarkowski. Sign Sufel, 35 million left. Sold Dean Garner. Sign Ben Rama. Sold Hilaire. Or give or take. Should be 45 million in this year's budget left as well. Hashtag lies. Steve, how? If they were going to finance a deal for a striker in January after Hilaire left, Moyes said he'd rather wait until the summer. What about the 100 mil they loaned from the bank 6-ish month ago? Info got leaked and was doing the rounds. Zach95 says, he's Barry saying they're not fit enough to run any kind of football club. They're ponces. More than happy to take money from us and credit when we're doing well, but when it comes to backing the team, they go hiding under their beds. WHU Mike says, typical spin from the ball like we haven't seen it all before. If the rumour mill is true and Lingard is demanding like 120k a week, then that is a bit dodgy. But overall, every other club is spending. Why are we any different? Still don't know where the pounds from the Bolin sale went. I'll answer that quickly. If Lingard's demanding £120,000 a week, pay Lingard £120,000 a week. Yarmolenko's on that. That's mental. The owners do it. He's done more in 6 months than Yarmolenko's been since he's been here. James Fatboy Fever says the owners doing what they always do, blagging it, needing gone ASAP. Yaz the Hammer says I did always say owners do not match the managers' fans and ambitions. Gary Grindle says, what do I make of this? Some WHU fans are mugs for believing every bit of rumour that circulates on social media. Only time will tell. Anthony Upton says Manchester United can do whatever they like. That was for the last question. This one is, don't believe it, Yarmolenko will be off. That will keep the wage bill roughly about the same. And then he says, fuck me, don't tell me he has another year on his contract, for fuck's sake. Greg Hobbs says, can't say I'm surprised by this. They will blame COVID, any excuse for them to get away with it. Where's the halla cash? Andy Well Beloved says, speculation. And Andy Robbo says, it's bollocks and came from the Mail Sport. Okay, fair enough. Thank you very much for that. And last but not least, number 3, Felipe Anderson finishes low spell at Porto soon. Posed the question, Ben Rama or Anderson. Now, I'm not a fan of either of these players, to be quite honest with you. Anderson in his first year was fantastic. Got very, I don't know what the word is. I don't know whether his confidence was gone or whatnot, but wasn't the player he was in the first season, in the second season. And Moyes obviously didn't fancy him because he shipped him out on loan quick time. And I'm not having Ben Rama. Ben Rama can be fantastic, same as Anderson. But for lots of the games, he's naive. He goes missing. He loses the ball a lot. His assists are excellent. He just needs to but you can't keep on assisting goals if you're going to keep on, having 1 or 2 good games where you make two or 3 assists, and then the next game you're absolutely awful. You need a bit of consistency. Look, we're looking like we might get Europe, and I know this is going to fucking hound a lot of people. I don't think there's value in Felipe Anderson at the moment. We paid £45 million for him. He's on quite a few quid a week. I don't think there's going to be like a queue round the block for him, especially to get anywhere near what we paid for him. I think we might be better off keeping him and seeing if we can coax a tune out of him. Lingard signs. I might get rid of Benrahma. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'd say Anderson, because he's done it. He's done it one season. He scored like 10 goals in a season. So we know there's a player there. Oh, I don't know. I've made the question and I'm struggling. I think Anderson. Don't kill me. Let's see your thoughts. JP Hammer says both, because that's a fair point, to be honest. Both because their squad is so thin, but if there's a choice, I'd say Benrahma. He is so important at times. I think he will eventually be so important all the time. I'll cry if he left so soon without a goal, but I think Moyes plans on keeping him. Both, in my opinion, says Paul Lewis. I see a role for both, especially if we make Europe. Anderson needs to convince Moyes, though, that he's up to the task. Moyes has proven he can improve players' performances as long as they are willing to put the work in themselves. Moyes effective. We're in a European position. We need squad depth to keep both. Keep both, says public. Everyone wants them. Anderson just needs to play more centrally and used in rotation. Gill says give Anderson pre-season, as I can't see anyone being desperate to buy him. But probably Benrahma, as though, even though Moyes doesn't play him all the time, he clearly trusts him more than Anderson. Emery League says, 97 Emery League says, why not keep both? I feel they could both complement each other as well. Plus, I feel like Anderson can play either wing. Give Anderson a chance pre-season, see what he can offer. He did say he will work hard and come back. Keep both, I feel. If we're in Europe, then keep. Zach says 3. I genuinely feel like both of them, but I'd have to go with Benrahma. Just like Fornells, Benrahma is having an okay but not great first season. I think he'll improve in his second. Greg Hobbs, he's not really played that much for Porto, considering we always get injuries taken back, I guess. Can't see anyone buying him if he was for sale. Benrahma so desperate for that first goal that he tries too hard. Another wide player added to squad. We're not really sure we need that. I'll take a couple more. James Edrup says, I think keep Moyes too. Both two, Moyes and Beckman stuff, one of our players not to work hard for the shirt. And Uncle Bernard's Bacon says neither. Stuart says Anderson, as we know he can score. And West Ham World finally says keep both, as need as much squad depth as we can. Need as much squad depth as we can for the Europa. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Midweek Musings. We'll be back getting ready to build up for the Brighton game at the weekend. Obviously Friday night penalties tomorrow night. Loads and loads going on over the weekend, and then we build up to the final week of the season. Go and check out our merchandise. We've got the They Fly So High t-shirts in the store right now, as long as the new Virgil van Dawson and the Mikel Antonio ones, as well as the Spiritual Home one, which is excellent. You can get hoodies as well. You can support us on Patreon if you click the link in the description if you like the channel. Every little bit goes back into the channel. We've got some big plans. We've been having some big meetings over the last couple of days. So keep your eye out for announcements coming up. Wink, wink. If you're new around here, subscribe. Click the like button. Share the video. One thing left to say. Come on, you Irons.